Alright, let's unpack a little bit of what I've just done. So there's a way to simply do a shortcut using what I call harmonic minor of destination. We've talked about this in different videos. Now in this video, what I want to address is a separate scale for each of these chords, and I'll give you the formula right away. It's pretty simple, and then I'll unpack it. So for the 2, this is of course a 2-5-1 minor. If you haven't seen a 2-5-1 minor before, I highly recommend you pause this video and check out other resources, because I'm going to really go fast by this. So in D minor 7 flat 5, I'm going to use F minor melodic. Yeah, you've heard that right. So F melodic minor. Lots to unpack, but I'll get there in a moment. Once you're going to do a G7 altered of sorts, so it could be a flat 9, sharp 5, whatever, we're going to use an A flat minor melodic. And then once we reach a C minor, it can be, people can say C minor 6 sometimes. People say, like this one is a C minor major. So what this means, it's not a C minor 7. A C minor 7 is really not a tonic minor sound. It's sort of a softer sound. So when we do a minor 2-5, what we want is to reach a destination that has either a 6 or a 7. So a major 7 like this, or a 6. And we're going to use simply the C minor melodic scale. All right, so that's really all there is to this formula. This yields a really modern sound. Link in description below for a guide. I call it the 2-5-1 mini guide that compares the different approaches. This is the most advanced approach. This is the most interesting jazz approach, and let's get going. All right, first thing to unpack here is really the melodic minor. People say, well, what's melodic minor anyways? That's the one with the 6, right? That's the one. I'll simplify your life tremendously. You ready for this? Check this out. I'm going to compare C major and C melodic minor below. C minor, melodic. MM or melodic minor. So I'll tell you what they both have. They have a C. They have a D. Let's skip over the third for now. They have an F, a G, an A, and a B. Okay, both these scales have exactly all these components, which leaves us with one note. And the note here is E, of course. You know your major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. All the white notes on the keyboard, all natural notes. Here we have an E flat. So that is the C melodic minor scale. Really important. People sometimes take detour. They want to go to the natural minor and do something to it, or do what I just say, well, go to major and just change one note. That's my go-to target, because I know the major scale really, really well. So it's easy for me to transition from major to melodic minor in a moment. All right, so I've already unpacked this on the page a little bit. If we are in D minor 7 flat 5, which is the 2 chord here on the sheet, we're going to use F melodic minor. This is what I stated in the previous sheet here. This is our first solution. So I'm going to unpack this on the screen going, F melodic minor is what? So I take my F major scale, and what I'm missing is really this transition note. So I'm going to play all the notes that are natural on the keyboard except A flat and B flat. So you are free to take an F major scale shape that you know, anyone like this one, and go 1, 2, flat, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's it. So now what we're going to transition to is do our modal approach. So if I do a modal approach and I start the scale on a D, because I want the D minor 7 flat 5 of sorts, I'm going to rewrite these notes here from D. So D, E, F, G. So far so good, right? Looking good. A flat, B flat, and C. So we will say that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 6th mode. This guy is the 6th mode of F melodic minor. And it has a name. It is one note away from Locrian. If you guys know what Locrian is. If you don't, God bless you, you don't need to know. So here we have the root, we have the natural 9, we have the flat 3, we have a natural 4, and then we have a flat, bear with me, of course, a flat 5, a flat 6, and a flat 7. And that's how we write it. So this is, people call it, I don't like that name very much, Locrian sharp 2 or Locrian natural 2. Sometimes they will write it like this. So what we need to know is that actually when I play a D minor 7 flat 5 chord, what I'm thinking about is an F minor 6. An F minor with a 6 of some sort. So I go. I much prefer that sound to the Locrian one, because the Locrian one ultimately is saying, well, I'm playing C natural minor during that chord. So now let's unpack the next chord. All right, now unpacking our good old 5. So the G chord, we could say G7 flat 9, G7 flat 9, flat 13, flat alt. It doesn't really matter. It's a really spicy chord. So as I mentioned in the first sheet here, I'm like, all right, we're going to use A flat melodic minor, this guy. So this is what we're doing on the sheet right now. And on the sheet, what we have is actually A flat major. And now melodic minor, I said, yeah, I'm going to leave that out for the moment, write it down. It's a C flat, not a typo. This key of A flat major has 4 flats at the clef, and I'm going to go a flat 3. So same as we did with our D minor 7 flat 5, I'm going to unpack this from the perspective of a G7 of sorts. And you will see we start to write the scale from the G, but then stuff stops making sense really, really, really quickly because of what we call enharmonics. Link in description below for that definition. So we have a G to an A flat to a B flat. So what I like to do right away is see that we have a good note. I'm going to circle it. It's the 1, it's a tonic, we're safe. Then we have a C flat here. I'm going to now call a B natural. This is a sacrilege of traditional European classical harmony. And then we have a D flat and E flat. And that note actually is a 3, so this is the shell, and an F. So the good news is we still have the shell of the G7 chord. We have the root, the third, and the flat 7. What are the 2 other guys? Well, I like to write this as a flat 9 and write this one as a sharp 9, even though it doesn't hold because it would need to be an A sharp. Doesn't matter. Then flat 5 and sharp 5. So you see, the altered scale is this, and some people call this super Locrian for some reason. And since this note is on the 7th degree, what we say is, well, G alt is the 7th mode of A flat melodic minor. Deep breath. G altered is the 7th mode of the A flat melodic minor scale. Okay, that's what it is. That's it. So I went from playing the 6th mode to playing the 7th mode of another scale. And now I get this beautiful contorted friggin' altered sound for free by using this approach on this. But remember, we had to go from major going to minor harmonic and then go, oh, that's the scale. So the super Locrian has this function. There's another way to think about this that I'm not going to get into in this video, which is D flat 7 sharp 11. Also a mode of A flat melodic minor, but the D flat, the advantage, I can go from the D flat to C. So the D flat is actually this tritone sub concept. Using a tritone sub or using the altered scale are 2 things that are pretty much equivalent in creating tension towards our destination. So that's it for this G alt, and now all we have left to unpack is the C minor. So for our 1 chord, I'm going to get back a few screens. I'm going to get the C melodic minor, so I go 1, and we have actually looked into these 3 scales. So we have the F, the A flat, and the C. I'm going to bring to your attention one of the fun things while I browse through the sheets that we've written. So I go D minor 7, I'm going to write it like this now. D minor 7 flat 5, G7 alt, to C minor of sorts, and the scale, the melodic minor scale of uses F to A flat to C. Do you notice these 3 notes are actually creating a minor triad in and of itself? This is F, A flat, C. So it's one little mnemonic device that we can use to be able to do these things. So that's a lot of scale switching pretty fast. And if you've been only using, say, Dorian to Mixolydian, whatever, this might be a lot to take in. So you can take your time but for instance, using only the altered scale of destination on this, just going, I'm going to keep playing my C Dorian, I'm going to keep doing the things that I know, but during the 2-5, I'm going to start to employ this sound of alteration. That's fine. Or you can watch another video of mine about the HMD, the harmonic minor of destination. You can always create your own shortcuts and start to increase the complexity slowly. But this is really my favorite way of doing it. And that's how I started this video here, by putting modern on the screen. This is a really modern approach. This is what the guys do. This is what like Matheny does and Schofield does. These modes and scales are really not just like artificial inventions to keep ourselves busy. They really sound good. And that's one thing you can do by maintaining a drone. Say I go to this page and I go, oh, I have this chord. go. I'm gonna use a drone with my open D. D, E, F. It's a beautiful sound for minor 7 flat 5. Good. Now I'm gonna go here. I don't have enough fingers to do this, so I could drone this and go. Right, a really like spicy sound, and then C minor, obviously, which is just one note away from the major scale. So by looking at the major scale a tiny bit different, I get all of this stuff for free, but to the cost of having to task switch fast through these 3 different methods. So I will leave you with some improv on that for a few courses. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video.